I mean, I think really what it was, man, I got in a car accident, and I think that was my wake up call. I think God speaks to you in different ways, and I think that's one of the times in my life where God was speaking to me, like, you need to wake up, or the next time I put you in a car accident, you ain't getting up out of it. And my car was totaled and everything else. My truck was totaled, and I think that was just God speaking to me. I'm being honest with you, because I was in a bad spot, a real bad spot. Just everything going on in my life. I just had my son, wasn't doing good, gambling like crazy, getting into it with my wife because I'm trying to defend my actions, knowing that I'm making things worse on her because I'm being selfish in how I'm doing things.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Flip That Switch. I'm your host, Brandon, aka B to the Sis Naive, and we back with another episode. If you didn't get a chance to go back and watch the previous episode, please go back and watch it. As a matter of fact, before you watch this episode, go back and watch the previous one. But today we're going to be diving into a new episode, and the person I'm going to be interviewing today is a guy that I had the pleasure of meeting when we went to the podcast summit back earlier in the summer.
Connect.
Yeah, Podcast Connect. And just a solid dude, good dude. He actually has a podcast himself. And of course, I'll link that in the description once we're all done here. But I was able to get on his podcast, and we was just talking, man, like we've been knowing each other about 20 years, bro.
Right,
and
right.
just, you got a good thing going, man. He got a good thing going, and definitely enjoyed this podcast. So I was like, man, I need to go ahead and have him on the podcast and chop it up with him. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my boy, Mike. What's up, bro?
How you doing, man? Hey, bless.
Good.
Glad to be on the show, man. Glad you sent me an invite, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to jump on, bro.
Oh, no problem, bro.
All right, so let's dive right in, man. So, Mike, bro, how are you mentally? Talk to me a little bit about what's going on mentally and where you are in life right now, bro.
You know what, man? I'm in a point mentally where I'm good.
Okay.
Way better than what I was probably a few years back. I feel like I'm completely comfortable with myself, being completely me. And that's a great place to be in, knowing exactly who you are. You will hear
Yeah.
that a lot from me in this interview with you. But I'm just happy mentally where I'm at because I'm blessed, man. I have an amazing wife. I'm loving what I'm doing with my podcast. As far as my faith goes, I'm a worshiper. I'm a worship leader. That's something that I struggle with at first, but yeah, man, as far as mentally goes, it's a lot more that I want to accomplish in life.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm just happy being Mike, being completely me. So yes, mentally right now, I would say I'm in a good space, Brandon.
Man, I love that, bro. I love that. When people are unapologetically them, and they
Yes.
get to a space where they could just be them, they can be free. I truly love that, and I think everybody should aspire to be like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
How long did it take you to get to that place, though?
Oh man, it probably just a few years back, honestly. I would say for the longest time, me trying to please other people, being a people pleaser,
Yeah,
my confidence level was not the highest, and that has a lot to do with it. But those two things mainly uh, was the reason that was holding me back from being mentally happy. Not just being happy with yourself, not knowing who you truly are, and when you truly find yourself, it's a freedom that you get. It's a real freedom that you get when you truly find yourself and knowing who you really are and being unapologetically you. So I would definitely say those two things, and that just happened. I'm 34 years old. I'm still considered younger, but it just didn't really hit me until my early 30s. And I know I hear that a lot of times the maturation of a man normally takes to you about 30 years old when you're completely comfortable with yourself as a man. And I truly believe that. So yeah.
that's what's up, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome, bro.
Mhm.
You mentioned that you were married, obviously. What role does your wife play in you being this person that you obviously desire to be and want to be? What role do you think she plays in that?
She's everything. She's everything. I, I I truly love my wife because when it comes to my wife, uh, it's called patience.
Mhm.
I truly believe. I got married at a younger age. I got married at 25. So we're going on 10 years of marriage. But at the beginning of it, I mean, my parents are married, but you never truly know what you sign up for until you're actually in it. You know what I'm saying? Until you're actually in your own marriage. When you say I do, and a lot of things that my wife has had to deal with me maturing as a man, she's completely shown patience with me for me to get to this point where I am now. And yeah, I have a lot of growth to do. We can always grow, but I've came a long way from what I was when we first got married, and I truly love her for that because she is my best friend. She's my confidant, but on top of that, she's the ultimate teammate. And it's been a lot of times where she could have said, "Hey, I give in the towel. I'm giving up on you. You ain't you ain't mature. You ain't did this. You still making the same mistakes." But she's never done that to me. She's never done that to me, and that's why I truly love her because she's shown patience, real patience with me. So I appreciate her for
Wow.
that. Mhm.
Wow, 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 man.
Yeah,
Behind every good man, there's a good woman, bro.
yeah,
And a woman that shows and proves that she can stick beside you, even when you in the trenches, even when you at your worst, that's the woman for you, man. Because
exactly.
like you said, not a lot of women, they gon' so these days women got short leashes, right? So it's like
Oh yeah,
the littlest thing you do,
yeah,
deuces. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So the fact that you got somebody that's stuck by you, and I'm sure you both have your things or that you've gone through, but at the same time, it's like y'all are here to tell about it, and like you said, y'all are going on 10 years. That's amazing, man. Not a lot of people are making it to 10 years, bro, in marriage, bro.
Yes, yes. It's not. A lot of people don't make it 2 years, maybe
Yeah,
10 months. I'm being honest. So yeah,
dude.
especially in this time where you have so much accessibility to everything and anyone. You could go talk to somebody 18 hours away these days. It's very easy to give up. I'm being
Yeah,
honest. It's very easy to give up. I'm glad that she's chose to not give up on me. I truly appreciate her for that.
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
I love it. So let's talk a little bit about you coming up. How was your childhood? Did you grow up with both parents in the house? Did you have
Yeah.
siblings? Let's talk to me a little bit about how it was when you were growing up.
Well, I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, a town called Florissant. Grew up in Berkeley. And here's the thing, man. I've had a great childhood. My dad, he's a pastor. I am a PK. But back then, he wasn't a pastor. He was a minister. And my mom, she's always been a manager. She got her degree. But my parents had me young. So I think my dad was like 21. My mom was 18 or 19 when she had me. You really don't ever know how young your parents is when you're a kid. Now you look and like, man, how were they doing it? They had 3 kids before. My mom had 3 kids before the age of 28. It's like, man, I'm 30, 34, and she had 3 kids before the age of 28. So I can see some of the sacrifices she made for us, and losing her teen years, having me. But man, I had a great childhood. If you ask me, it was a lot of things that I seen with my mom and dad, but they were young. They argued a lot. But I truly love them. They always love me. One thing I will say is though, my dad being a pastor, I feel like his aura just overshadowed my talents. So so I've had multiple talents, but my dad being such a great preacher, it kind of overshadowed some of the things that I've done. I'm a PK, so I was always in church. We grew up in the church, everything around the church, and I wouldn't trade my childhood. I got two younger sisters. One is 3 years younger than me, Morgan, and then my youngest sister, Marissa. We're 8 years apart. But we had a pretty good childhood growing up. Just like every child, I was a little mischievous and things like that. But as far as growing up, I wouldn't trade my childhood for anything. The principles that my dad taught me, he did not spare the rod. Let me just be honest with you. I got a lot of whoopings. I don't know if these kids get whoopings anymore, but my dad now he's friendly, Pastor Mike, love the grandkids. Back then it wasn't none of that. It was, hey, you disrespect your mama, you getting a whooping. You ain't doing what you supposed to do, you getting a whooping. But I appreciate that. Now that I'm older, it has taught me a lot of lessons. It's given me things that I still live with today, with the rules that he set when I was a kid. I still apply those things to my life, and I use it with my kids as well. So yes, man, I did have a pretty good childhood growing up, Brandon.
Nice. That's what's up. PKs,
Yes,
boy.
yes, yes, yes.
That is every time I hear a PK, the question I always want to ask them is, and I guess I'll ask you is, being a PK, obviously you're held to a higher, different standard, right? So the turning up, the going out,
Yeah,
clubbing,
yeah,
the stuff, the fun stuff of the world. I'm sure you obviously couldn't do that because of your
right.
status. How did that make
Exactly.
you feel? Like, was it
Oh
like,
man, it
man,
made me
this is
feel like I
boring?
was missing out, bro.
Yeah,
When I was younger, and my dad is not like they were young when they had me. So my dad
yeah,
was not like super strict on me. Mainly my sisters more than anything, but with me, I still got to enjoy myself in high school. I got to go out, I got to hang out with friends. He wasn't like one of those super strict preachers that wouldn't let me go out, but it was still things that I couldn't do that my friends was doing. You know what I'm saying? My friends could be out and doing what they want and smoking and whatever, and they could cuss. Some of my friends could cuss in front of their parents. And I thought that was like crazy. Like, bro, you could cuss in front of your parents? Like, I've never seen that before. I've never said a cuss word in front of my mama and daddy in my life. I could
me
never do
neither.
that. So it was things like that where I was like, dang, this is a different world. But really, the everything really ain't changed for me until I went off to school. When I actually went off to school, I went to Southeast Missouri State in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. My freshman year, it was one of the best years of my life, but it was also one of the worst years of my life because it was the year where everything happened for me. As far as dealing with different type of spirits, different type of people, and you ain't got your mama and daddy around. And
Mm.
I failed miserably. I'm gonna be honest with you. I failed miserably. I literally failed out of college, and everything like that. And it was just it was really depressing. I'll be honest with you at that time. That's the first time I actually thought I was depressed, Brandon. Is when I went off to college and I failed that first year because I had so many dreams and aspirations, but I didn't know what life was, bro. And I graduated when I was 17, so I was a little
Mm.
younger, but I didn't know what life was. I'll be honest. I didn't know what life was. And going off there, it taught me a lot of lessons. I'll be honest with you. Just going to college. So yeah.
When you failed, how did you bounce back? Because obviously, again, the status that you are and everything, and it's like, I'm going off to school. I want to make my parents proud, but here it is. I fail, and like, how did that make you feel? Were you ashamed, and how did you bounce
Oh
back from
man.
that?
Uh bro, was I ashamed? My mom and well, really is my dad. It wasn't even my mom. My dad is the one where when I failed, he was like, dude, like you just cost me $10,000 and you did absolutely nothing.
Wow.
And he was like, you did absolutely nothing. Like, I'm disappointed in you. And hearing that from your dad is like one of the worst things ever. I literally cried in the closet for like an hour.
Mm.
Like, I'm a failure. Like, and at that time, you're not thinking about life, your future life. You're just thinking about right there in that moment. Like, I'm not gonna graduate college. I'm gonna be working at a grocery store for the rest of my life. You're just thinking things like that in your head because I mean, at that point in your life at 18, you're supposed to go to school, get a degree, and get a job. And at that time, I lost my financial aid, so they would have had to pay. I would have to pay out of pocket. $16,000 a year. I didn't have that. You understand what I'm saying? I flunked out of school, so basically my parents, my dad, that's when he first came to Texas. He moved, his job transferred him to Texas. He transferred to Texas. I was in Missouri. So pretty much I didn't have a choice. I had to come to Texas. I couldn't, it was either go back to St. Louis and with my grandma, or come down here with my dad and my mom who just moved here to Dallas, and come with them. And Dallas, I mean, it was really a blessing in disguise, because now I'm forced, I don't have it. I don't know anybody here. It's just us here. And I came down here, bro. And the way I bounced back I mean, I went back to community college. I went to community college and I did that. And then I worked, so now I'm in the workforce, so I'm going to community college. I got me a little job at Radio Shack. Then I was going to community college and I got a little job at Best Buy. And then after that, Best Buy, I went to the post office. And then after the post office, I've worked at the job I have now for 10 years. And thank God it's the same job my dad has had for years. But, as far as school goes, I've never finished school. And yes, it does still, it's something that I still think about almost every, probably every week. Like I still need to finish school, because I promised my dad I would. And that's something that I still want to do. But at this time, I realize, man, I want to tell every kid out there, you don't have to be 18 and figure it all out. I'm the one of the youth ministers at my church. And I tell them that don't think you have to have everything figured out at 18 years old. Most people don't know what they want to be at 18. At 18, I wanted to be a sportsman. What is it? Sports agent. I wanted to be a sports agent. I went to school for sports management and business, and then realized there's no way I'm a succeed at sports management in Cape Girardeau or Missouri, because it's more about who you know and not what you know when it comes to that field. And I wasn't in California, I wasn't in LA, I wasn't in New York. Those are the big, Chicago, some of the bigger cities, in order for you to really pop off there. So yeah, man, I want to tell every kid or anybody out there, it's not a time frame of when you know what you're gonna do, who you are. It takes time. And back then, man, I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I really didn't. I've just now really figured that out now, of who and what I am.
Yeah.
And like I said before, at 30 some years old, now I finally figure out this is what my purpose is in life. And I've been looking for that for the past 12 years, from 17 all the way up to about 31 years old. So 14 years of me trying to figure out who I really was and what I wanted to do. Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, you absolutely right though. It does. People don't have to start figuring it out at 18 and 19.
Yeah.
And I'm in the same boat you in, man. Like it one of my aspirations was to become an investment banker.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know how I was going to do it. Like you, I didn't finish school either. I went to JUCO for like 2 years. And I'm like, I immediately switched, because I'm like, man, I know to be an investment banker, at the bare minimum, you're going to have a bachelor's degree, and to be a successful one. So I pivoted from that. I didn't know what I was doing. And it was up until like my mid going on to late 30s, I finally figured out, I'm like, okay, it's not meant for me to do the corporate thing anymore. So that's why me and Dad started doing our thing with the content. And then ultimately,
it's dope. I'll send you your content. It's dope. It's dope.
Oh, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate that. But then I realized, like, okay, I want to do some acting. And then finally, I'm like, man, I feel like I have a gift to talk, right?
Yeah.
To inspire people and to talk and to really motivate people. And so that's when I started thinking about podcasting, but it took a while. Like I didn't, initially I wasn't on board with it. And finally, man, I was like, man, this just keeps tugging away at me to be like, you know what, let me go out here and do my thing with this podcasting. Right. And here we are, bro. So it's like, I'm in the same boat with you. Our vision and God's vision for us.
Man, I'm telling you, Brandon, if you experience some of the things I experienced in life, as far as God talking, it was nobody but God. I tell people that all the time. Where I'm at now and what I'm supposed to be doing, it was already written, and it was signs that was shown to me years and years ago. that has finally come into fruition. I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Just even with I've always had a thing of talking sports. I don't know what it is, but I see that people really attract to me when I talk sports. They laugh. It makes me feel good. I'll be honest with you, because it's something that it just comes naturally to me when I talk sports. I don't know if it's my passion about it. I don't know what it is, but I've always been passionate. I've always wanted to be a NBA player or NFL player. God did not bless me with the athletic abilities to do that, and I understand it. But what He did bless me with is with a tongue and a brain to talk sports, unlike a lot of people. And I did that in high school. I would just talk. It was Kobe, LeBron back then, and I would go crazy and talk Kobe and LeBron, and everybody would come around and listen to me talk sports. And then my dad, he caught on to it. And really, the reason why I have a podcast, I have to always shout out my dad, because my dad was the only one that said it. He said, "Hey," and this was like, because the podcast has been going on like 3 years now. He said, "Hey, Mike, you do all this talking." He said, "How about you start a podcast?" He said, "I'll buy you the equipment." I
Ooh.
said, "You know what, Dad? You might be right." I said, he said, "Everybody at work talk about you talking sports, but why you need to start a podcast?" Because I would do lives on Facebook and just go live and just talk about. I'm a huge Rams fan, and at that time the Rams was winning the championship, and I would go crazy on there and talk crazy, and people would come on there laughing and conversating with me, and they enjoyed it. And I said, "Man, I love doing this. I need to go ahead and start." So what? I wasn't even thinking to start a podcast. I'm being honest. I wasn't. It was my dad that planted that seed in my head. But that's something I've been doing for years, man. With my friends, the friends that I have on the show now, we've been arguing for years doing this. It's just a blessing that it's something that it's a passion of mine. It's a purpose of mine, bro. And I thank my dad. I thank God for even putting that in him to tell me. And I think that's just God speaking through my dad when it came to something like that. I mean, and I have multiple instances like that of things that I'm doing now where I feel like God was just talking to me and using other people to speak to me of what my purpose is in life. And it's just truly a blessing. I'm being honest. It really is.
Man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We're already doing our passions anyway, and so now we just are given a platform to do it.
Yes.
It's so easy, bro. Like the
Yes.
stuff I'll be talking to people about, I come on here and do my interviews and stuff like
Mhm.
that. This stuff is so easy because, like you said, it's already what we doing anyway.
And it's therapeutic, bro. Um,
Oof.
People don't understand how therapeutic it is when you coming together and talking. I mean, and sometimes we talk sports, but we'll talk other things, man. We'll talk about manhood. I'll talk about anything,
Yeah.
and even this is therapeutic for me because I don't have this outlet a lot to just talk about, who I am, what made me who I am today. So I'm glad you brought me on the show because I love to talk and talk to other men that's like-minded like me. So I'm very grateful that you extended the invitation to me to do this, man, for real.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, I was appreciative to get on your podcast because you do have a sports podcast, and I like you. I'm a sports fanatic. You know what I'm saying? I can
Yes.
talk sports
Yes.
all day
All day long.
long.
All
You
day
know,
long. Yes.
and so when I got on yours and I saw like two or three other people, I'm like, oh, finally, I get to just really talk sports
My
with like,
tribe.
bro,
It's
multiple people.
and having somebody that know what they talking about. That's the crazy because a lot of times you talk sports with people and you be like, you don't know sports. Like you
Mm-mm.
you don't really know sports. But when somebody say something like, oh, okay, he know what he talking about.
You know
Like
what he
yeah,
talking about?
he know what he talking about when it comes to sports. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, for sure. Okay, so I lived in St. Louis for like 2 years,
Yes.
back in the gap. And
Mhm.
there's a big difference between St. Louis and Dallas. I'll just tell you that.
Yes, it is.
What are some of the things that you struggled with, or on the flip side, what are some things that you came to Dallas and was like, wow, this isn't St. Louis because of this? Talk to me a little bit about what some of those things were where when you came to Dallas, it either was a culture shock or it was like, wow, I'm in love with this compared
That's
to
easy.
home.
That's very easy. First thing is when I first came to Dallas, man, I seen Ferraris, Bentleys, and everything else. These dudes had money. I'm like, I hate to say it, but everybody in St. Louis, y'all broke. Unless you come down here, then you see what real money is. All right, we'll see a dude with a old Mercedes Benz be like, oh, that dude got money back in St. Louis. Like he really doing it. Then you come down here and it's like a culture shock. First of all,
Yeah.
how big it is. You can put 15 St. Louis's in Dallas. But when I first came to here, I'm like, man, these dudes got real money. They really making money. It's tech jobs, it's all type of stuff. It's poverty there in St. Louis. And when you think about it, it's a crab in a barrel mentality. When everybody broke, everybody ain't happy, everybody is mad. Down here, people was friendly. I mean, Southern hospitality is real. You don't get that back in St. Louis. You going through the drive-through in rallies in St. Louis. My homeboy was from New Orleans. He came there for my wedding. We had it in St. Louis, man. He was in the rallies drive-through. The rallies lady almost cussed him out in the drive-through. Real talk. He like, bro, this is how y'all do it. I said, bro, everybody here ain't nobody really happy. I love my city, but that's just really what it is. The other thing was the different races and cultures here. It was a lot of different cultures. It's like a melting pot. And that's something I never seen. I told my wife, I said, man, I have never seen this many Mexicans. We didn't really have Mexicans like that back in St. Louis. You might have a couple Arabs, we call them Arabs, things like that. But it was just a different cultures. That was my first time coming here to Dallas, where I had Mexican friends. I had Armenian friends. I had all different type of friends that I never really knew existed. And because that was my environment. My environment was black and white. So just coming here, and then on top of that, I mean, yes, it's crime here in Dallas. It's crime everywhere. But living in St. Louis, every day you watch the news, it's depressing. It really is. It's like you watch the news and somebody baby got shot, somebody got killed, another murder here, murder there. And coming down here to Dallas, it opened your eyes up to somewhere where you would want to raise a family. It opened your eyes up where it was so many different, more like-minded people. I mean, even here, man, it's the Bible Belt. So you had so many Christians here, Christians that was really doing their thing, mega churches, things like that. And I was like, man, this is different. I can see myself living here. And then when you get accustomed to the lifestyle down here, 2-3 years later, you like, man, I ain't never moving back. I'm never moving back. And I told my wife that when she moved here, because she's from St. Louis as well. I said, hey, when you get down here for good, I don't think you ever gonna want to move back. She's like, yeah, I believe it when I see it. And now she's been down here almost 10 years, and now she's saying, oh, I ain't never going back to St. Louis. Her mama down here and her nieces down here. So yeah, man, Dallas and St. Louis, two totally different places. But I'm glad that I was born and raised in St. Louis, because that's made me the man I am today. That toughness, that grit about St. Louis is made me who I am as Mike. My bravado. I'm very loud. I'm boisterous when I talk. That's St. Louis. That's just what St. Louis is. That's that fried rice. That's that St. Louis style pizza. That's all that in me. You know what I'm saying? That's that vest soda. That's all that in me. So yeah, man, I'll never turn my back on the city, but I do have a real soft spot in my heart for Dallas as well. So I'm a Texan now as well. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I understand. I moved here from Chicago, and I was like, man, it's just it's not only is it the opportunity, but it's also, so when I first came here, I was single, obviously, right? And it was just like, before Dallas, I had never really experienced like day parties, right? And so like I'm down here and I'm like, man, I'm a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's hot like 8 months out the year. I'm like, bro, y'all, like, for example, today, 65 degrees or whatever. In Chicago right now, it's probably like 8-9 degrees.
They freezing their balls off. For real. Yes.
I was like, you know what? I done got spoiled. And like you, I'll never go back. But it's like, I just, it was such a difference and a culture shock for me. Because like you said, it was also the fact that, it is the Southern hospitality, but it's like Southern hospitality of different races, everybody nice and friendly. And I didn't come from that either. I wasn't used to that either.
No.
Like you, I came from somewhere where everybody trying to get it. They ain't got time to be friendly and shaking hands and asking how your day was and all that. They don't have time for that. Out here, when I got out here, I was at first it took me a little bit of time to get used to people because I'm like, man, wait, y'all are too friendly. Is this a setup? Is there a motive?
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? But
Yes.
as I started to realize that's just how the South is, I just started to embrace it. I'm like, wow, this is dope, man. Like
It's
this is
dope.
cool. You
It's really
know?
dope. It's dope being
Yeah.
here in Dallas, man. I love that. I love Dallas. This is probably one of the best places to raise a family, man. When it comes to, you have children, and me having a 5 and 7 year old, the opportunities that they are blessed with having, just even in elementary school, it's amazing to me, bro. And
Yeah.
and that's what you want. You want the next generation to have better than what you had. And me being in Dallas is bestowed that upon them, that they're able to do things that I wasn't able to do as a kid. My daughter, she's already been in cheer and she's in drama classes, and I think that stuff is amazing, man. My son has played soccer already, basketball. I don't even think we had a soccer team out there in St. Louis. Nobody plays soccer. I'm being honest. Nobody plays like you play basketball, you play football or something like that, but you didn't play soccer. But those things that they get to do, man, it's like, man, that's really dope. I'm glad my kid has those experiences that I didn't have as a kid, and that's a blessing because Dallas gave that to us. So yeah.
No, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about this St. Louis pizza, bro.
Oh yeah, I already know, man. Brandon, I'm gonna tell you this. It's just like when you go into Chicago, right? Everybody know about Portillo's or something like that. All right. Portillo's is the one that's big though. You get what I'm saying? Like it might be a whole bunch of different Italian beef spots out there. But Portillo's is the one that everybody talk about. With
I,
me, I just talked about this earlier today, man. I know you probably don't like the St. Louis style pizza, and that's understandable. You probably Chicago style or New York style or Pizza Hut. I don't care what y'all like. When it comes to St. Louis style pizza, man, don't nobody really eat at Emos. Let me tell y'all that now. Emos is for the outsiders that want to try St. Louis style pizza. If you a St. Louis native, you got your own pizza spot. Okay. Mine's is in Ferguson. Okay. It's called Farachi's Pizza. That's where I go. It's a little hole in the hut place. It's about this big, as big as this room I'm sitting in. But I'm telling you now, they pulling out them pieces and they fire. All right. Fire. It's straight fire. I'm letting you know that now. You might go to Peroni's. You might go to Pantera's. It's a whole bunch of different pizza spots. But mine's is Farachi's. I've been eating Farachi since I was a little boy. And every time I come back into town, I still go get Ferrachis. I'm not an Emos guy. Now I will get Emos. Emos is still fire. But I know most people that talk about St. Louis style pizza, they like, I had Emos and I don't like it. It's the cheese. It tastes like a cracker with cheese on it. So go ahead and
that's
say what you
it.
got to say.
It's cheese on a cracker, bro.
There
And
you
that's
go
why.
again. I knew it. I knew that's what you was gonna
And
say.
hold on. And it doesn't even taste good the next day. You can't
It
warm it
doesn't.
up
You
and eat
have
it
to
again,
eat it hot. You have to eat it
bro.
hot. But who?
Nah,
I mean, I understand it. It's the Provel cheese, but I'm telling y'all now, if y'all went to any other one, I can take you to Farachi's. I guarantee you, gonna like it. You're gonna like it. And I mean, it's Provel cheese. It's a different type of cheese. It's not mozzarella cheese. St. Louis style, we use Provel cheese. It's a different cheese, but I love it. We grew up on it. That's what we love. I mean, and here's the thing. Chicago got their own style. Detroit, I don't like Chicago style pizza. I think it's just a big old meat pie. I think it's just a meat pie with sauce. And then here's the thing about Chicago pizza, Brandon. It takes 50 minutes for it to cool down. I gotta wait there for 50 minutes, so I'm gonna burn my tongue off trying to eat the daggone pizza, man. So I don't want that. I don't want to have to wait 50 minutes. First of all, it take 30 minutes to make the daggone meat pie. And then it's so hot, I gotta wait another 50 minutes to eat it, or it's gonna burn my tongue off. I'm done with it. I'm not even hungry after the time I get a slice. So no, I don't like Chicago style pizza.
oh, come on, man. Come on, bro.
It's a Chicago spot. I think it's a couple spots. I don't know if it's still open. It was in Addison called Taste of Chicago. We went there, and the pizza was all right.
Yeah.
It was a deep dish style pizza, but it was pretty decent. It wasn't St. Louis style, but that's what your taste buds grew up on. So I understand it. I respect it. I respect Chicago.
No, for sure. For sure, bro. For sure. All right, so let's get into podcasting, bro, because obviously, like you said, it was your dad that inspired you to start a podcast. You was already in your passion. And I love this because this is really going to bridge to my question for you. Why is it important for people to really just tap into their passion instead of sitting on it? And I mean, obviously, there's the obvious reasons on that, but give me your perspective on why people should really just tap into their passion and make it something bigger than what they think that it is versus what God is trying to call them to do. You know what I mean? Talk to me a little bit about that.
I mean, I think it's important because you only got one life, brother. You only get one life. You know, I think Eminem said you only got one shot. Do it. I think a lot of people are afraid of failing. And I was afraid of failing at everything when I was younger. I'm being honest. I was afraid of failure. I can probably say it still today. I'm still afraid of failing. And you can't. I mean, it's not as bad as it was back then, but back then, man, I was so unsure of myself, unconfident, and afraid to fail, and worried about what other people thought about me. And I remember when I wrote my first play. That was in 2017, and one of our church members, because I used I used my dad's church to do the play and all that. And one of my church members told me, "You gotta start being a people pleaser, Mike."
Mm.
And that still stuck with me today because I always wanted to please everybody else rather than just doing something that made me happy, man. I was afraid. I was afraid to sing in front of people, even if I knew I was sing in the shower and sing everywhere else, because I was worried about what everybody would think about me. Like, he's singing gospel music. He ain't this, he that. People say stuff all the time, but at this time now, I'm up there singing with full confidence. I got confidence in myself, bro. And it takes time to get to that. But guess what? I don't care if somebody say he don't sound good or he don't, because at the end of the day, bro, I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for myself, and I'm doing it for God. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing anything for you. So if I get 50 views on a video, or if I get 50,000 views on the video, it's not gonna change or waver. It's not gonna waver my faith of what I'm doing. But a lot of times people are so afraid of what other people think. And guess what? Them other people, they just like you. They afraid too. That's why they talk about you, to try to hinder you from getting to what you're trying to get to. Because they actually not happy with what they're doing. Because they're not reaching their full potential in life. So a lot of times, like I said, that crab in the barrel mentality, a lot of people are just afraid to do what they really want to do. And I mean, you can't think like that, man. You just gotta go and do it, man. Jump off that diving board and go head first in. And a lot of it is fear. I truly believe that we are afraid of what we can become, or we are afraid of that we are not going to become what we think we can become. And it is natural for you to automatically think like, man, what if I don't make it? What if I don't do it? But guess what? Every L is a lesson. That's what I say. That's my thing I like to say. Even if you take a L and it's a lesson, and in every lesson it's a blessing. It's a blessing in it. Something comes out of it regardless, man. So you just got to go ahead and do it, B. That's what I say. You just do it. Do it, and don't worry about the fear of it, man. And that's harder. That's harder to do. I mean, that's harder to do than say. But you just can't have no fear, man. And I said, forget what people think. I don't care if they like it or not. I don't care how I look, how I talk. If you like what I say, all the negative. When I first did this thing, I don't know about you, but I would hate when somebody put like a negative comment on there. It would really bother me when I first start podcasting. Like, you suck. You don't know what you're talking about. But at this point, my wife says, "You see the comments?" I say, "Yeah, I see them. I don't care anymore." I mean, I love it. I laugh at it. And that just comes with growth. It comes with growth and doing it, and the confidence. But I think the main thing of everything, when it comes to even podcasting, and you know this, is your confidence. You just got to be confident in what you're doing, man. If you confident, you don't have to be the best. And I've heard that before. My dad told me that before. He's like, Mike, it's preachers way better than me. It's singers that's gonna be way better than you. It's podcasters that's way better than you. But they ain't got no confidence. They don't believe in themselves. And a lot of times that's why you don't get anything from them, or they're not reaching their full potential because they're not confident in themselves and fully sure of themselves.
Yeah.
And that's to sum up your answer. That's really what it is.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
your
Wow.
question. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Mm.
A lot of nuggets being dropped there, especially the one where people want you to be where they are. And so they're going to try to keep you where they are.
Oh
And so
yeah.
they're going to try to give you this false hope, and they're going to try to tear you down and bring you down and make you think that, you know what, I'm not good.
Yeah.
I'm not, maybe they're right.
Yeah.
When you get, when you get to the point where you start saying maybe they're right, they got you, bro.
Yeah.
They got you.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. You have got to overcome that. And you've got to, you like you said, you got to have that confidence, bro. And you got to have the confidence that you can go in there and own anything you do.
Anything. Anything. Anything, man.
There's
Believe
a
in yourself, man. Like I keep saying that because man, I'm just one of them guys that when I was younger, I think I was just held back by fear and not truly living who I was, man. I was trying to be other people, you know. I really wasn't Mike, you know. At one point, you know, being a PK, you got this rebellious stage where you want to prove that, hey, I'm not no holy rolling Christian dude. So I would, you know, not go to church, you know, things like that, you know, knowing that that wasn't me. I like I would just do things to rebel or just try. I was trying to find myself, bro. Like I didn't know what I wanted to be. I see this dude over here doing this, and I'm like, oh, I want to do what he doing. I hate to say it, but at one point I was a follower. But it's a lot of people that's followers. I'm not one of them people that I've always been very confident and a leader and all those things. No, I've grown into that. Now I am a leader. I stand on my own too. You know, I moved to the beat of my own drum, but it took time for me to get to this point, man. It took a maturation process for me to get to this point where I am completely comfortable with who Michael Donnell Owens II is. And you can either take it or you can leave it. But
yeah.
I'm not trying to have no friends. I'm not trying to force anything. It's just whatever's meant for me is meant for me. And I'm not hating on nobody else. I'm not jealous of anybody else. I'm just strictly in my own lane with the blinders on, you know. So and it takes time, and it's a blessing to be able to really feel like that at this point where I'm just doing me. I'm doing
Mm.
me. I'm taking care of my family, and being able to meet people like you. You know, it's a blessing. You know, I think God aligned that for because my wife seen you guys, and she was like, "Oh, I know who I seen his face." I said, "It's just a blessing." You know, and I didn't force that; it just happened. It's things like that that happen, and I think that's just God ordained things. So I'm just, I'm happy that I'm completely comfortable with who I am at this point in my life. Yep.
You know, the maturation process, because you said you were a people pleaser. It's the perfect thing, because it's like the maturation process starts with, I want to fit in with everybody. And then
Yes.
as you start to mature, now
Yes.
the mindset is, you know what? I'm not going to be for everybody.
Yes.
And that's okay.
That's fine.
That's okay.
It's okay not to be for everybody, man.
And a lot of
We
people
can.
get caught up. They're like, man, I want to just fit in with everybody. I want to be popular. I want to be,
Oh yeah.
and that's just like, bro, that's not going to work out
Yeah.
great. It's just not, I tell people, like, you need you an inner circle. And then as you encounter people, it's good to network. It's cool, good to kind of, obviously networking is the number one thing because that brings opportunities. But it's not designed for us to try to fit in with everybody. It's
Yes.
designed for us to impact and inspire who we gonna do, who we gonna inspire, and vice versa. It's our job to get inspired by who we gonna get inspired by. And it's not gonna be everybody. Sometimes you're gonna take an L. Sometimes you're gonna wish, oh man, I wish I would have became friends with this person. But at the end of the day, bro, it's all about the plans and purposes. And we not gonna be for everybody. Everybody ain't gonna be for us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
once you realize that, bro, I mean, the sky is gonna be the limit, man. Like, stop trying to fit in with everybody and people please everybody, because you know what? Those people at the end of the day, they gonna be here and gone. Not
Everybody.
all of them, but some of them are.
I tell you this too, B man. Everybody ain't meant to go into the next season with you. And that's not you being fake, phony, or anything like that. Because a lot of times, us as black folks, we try to hold on to people. We very
Yeah.
loyal, to the ones that was with us back then. But a lot of times you got a shed of that sometimes. They holding you back. They baggage. I'm being honest. And that's not saying that you have to completely cut them off. You can be like, how you doing, man? Checking up on you. But them relationships that you had, that bond that you had with them in the past, you can't have that no more going into what you're going into. Sometimes, God releases people so he can, add more people to you, in the future of what you going into. But a lot of them people from your past can hold you back from what your actual purpose is. I'm being honest. And you have to have a spirit of discernment to know, man, that dude ain't good for me. That dude don't really support me. That dude really in my ear, like, oh yeah, I like your little podcast. What you mean my little podcast? Things like that. I see you with your little podcast. You can, when they kind of taking them, and you see people like that, and you be like, dang, you kind of jealous. And, maybe I need to,
Mhm.
move this way, get away from dude, because it seemed like he really ain't happy for me. But yeah, that happens. So sometimes going into the new season of your life, everybody can't go with you. They can't
Yeah.
go with you. They can't
Yeah.
go, and that's a hard thing, is to let go of certain people. And I mean, I now at this point, I can do that. I'm being honest. Like if I feel like you're not on the same thing I'm on as far as taking care of your family, trying to better yourself, trying to be a better person and striving to be better every day, and it don't align with what I'm doing, I'm fine with being like, hey, bro, I gotta leave you back there.
Mhm.
I can try to bring you to the water, man, but I'm bringing you to the water, but you still gotta drink it, bro. If they can't drink it, man, you gotta move on, bro. I'm being honest. You gotta move on.
Move on, bro.
Move on.
Move on. Put
Yep.
them in your rearview and walk away knowing that you did everything that you could,
Yep.
but also realizing that, hey, look, it ain't meant. It ain't meant.
Not meant.
It
It's
ain't
not
meant.
meant. It's not meant, bro. It's not meant.
Wow. It's not meant, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. You mentioned earlier that you had a lot of stuff going on, man. Obviously, the podcast is a major thing, doing big things and great things on that. But then also, you're a family man and things of that nature. So I wanted to ask you, like, what does the next 3 to 5 years look like for you? Like, talk to me a little bit about some goals you're trying to obtain, some things you're trying to reach. Also, talk to me a little bit about what you want to do with the podcast. Where do you see that going? So, the next 3 to 5 years of your life, what does that look like for you?
Next 3 to 5 years of my life. It's me. That's a good question, man. Me strengthening my relationship with God. Sometimes now that I'm on that stage every week, um, it's a big responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And we probably got 100 to 150 members of our church, but I've always want to be the guy where I'm the same guy on the stage and off the stage when I'm off the stage the next 6 days. I want to be the same guy Monday through Saturday that I am up there on Sunday. And it's certain things that I still deal with, because none of us are perfect, that I want to work on. And
Mm-hmm.
one of them is like, I'll be honest with you, man. I like to gamble sometimes, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's not a good thing when you up there singing. I mean, I'm being real with you. Sometimes, that's not a good thing, and it's a stronghold on me. Sometimes I've come a long way, Brandon. I've come a long way with it, but sometimes you get that urge to be like, man, I just want to get that quick money, man. So those are things that if you pray for me on, man, because I'm trying to get better, and I'm being vulnerable right now. But that's just the truth. I need to get better at those things. Another thing is I want to be a better father. I want to be more present with my kids. I've just now gotten to the point where on my job where I'm able to get off at 5 o'clock, where I'm actually able to do this podcast with you and see my kids. I wasn't able
Yeah.
to do that for the first 7 years of my daughter's life. I get off at 11:30 and I don't see her until the weekend. So this next point in my life is to be a better father to them and be a more present father to them now that I'm around more. And as far as my wife is to let her know that I am completely uh uh bought in on being able to fully take care of her and provide for her. That's something that I really want. My wife is one of the most giving people I know. That's something that
Mhm.
I'm jealous of about her. I don't tell her that she's a giver naturally. She naturally wants to help people. And my thing is, I want to take that load off of her. I really do. And that's really the point of the podcast, honestly, is to be able to provide for my family. I'm being honest with you. Provide for my family, but also get this thing out to everybody where they can see a group of black men that's on there having a good time, talking sports, being being able to laugh and talk sports, and we ain't talking about nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? We just on there trying to provide a healthy entertainment to people and really just bringing black boy joy to the world. And I think
Yeah.
everybody should be able to see this. I think that we have something that a lot of people would enjoy, and it's a different side of sports. Right now, the sports podcast world is dominated by athletes, and I see it. I love them. I love Shannon Sharp's podcast. I love what's the other one? Mason Cam. They're rappers doing the sports thing. It's a lot of great podcasts out there, but it's not a lot of podcasts like mine. I'm being honest, from a sports fanatics standpoint, of guys that just sit on the couch and watch
Mm-hmm.
sports, and it's like barbershop talk. And I think in the next 3 to 5 years, my goal is to not only increase my viewership and increase my following, but it's just to get the normal crazy fanatics point of view. I think a lot of times we don't get to see the crazy fanatics point of view. I just want to get the sports fans point of view out there to the world, man. I love what we have. Even when you came on the show, just getting guys different point of views, guys talking about their teams, guys that's passionate about all sports. I mean, I think it's just something that we got that special, and I think everybody needs to see it. So yeah, as far as my kids and my wife and all those things go, that's where I see myself in 3 to 5 years, man. Just a guy that is maturing, a man that's maturing, and becoming somebody that I think my family would be proud of. Yeah, that's where I see myself in the next 3 to 5 years.
I respect it, man. I respect it. And a lot of times people just aren't vulnerable. They have an issue with being vulnerable, but the fact that you are not only vulnerable, but you recognize, what's going on, you're going to be all right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their vices. Everybody has those things that get a stronghold on them. But at the end of the day, bro, like, you recognize it, and I'm confident that you are going to put the necessary work in to improve on that. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no judgment. Should nobody be judging you, because guess what?
Right,
Everybody's
right,
got flaws. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Things they dealing with. So I'm gonna definitely be praying for you, but I also want to encourage you that, bro, like, continue to lead your family, put your family first. That's what we are wired to do as men.
Mhm.
And the fact that you are trying to be a better father, be a better husband, and you putting in the work, bro, that is commendable. It's admirable. A lot of people out here, they just march into the beat of their own drum, not considering others, being selfish versus selfless. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And so you just got to continue to do that, man. You got to continue to be selfless, put your family first, put your kids first, put your wife. Well, she comes obviously number one under God, but continue to be that family man. And at the end of the day, bro, you gonna overcome that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And look, I can be a support system for you. I can be an outlet for you, man. If you need to talk, if you getting ready to hit the casino and be like, B, I need you to talk me off this
Yeah,
ledge,
man.
dog.
It's them parlays, dog. It's the
Oh yeah,
parlays. It's
yeah,
the parlays, bro. That's really what it is, man. But
yeah,
like I said, I've grown far from where I've came from, man. It came to a point where I just like, man, I'm ready to end this all, bro. Like I'm in such a deep pit.
yeah,
I don't know how I'm gonna get out of it, bro. Like, yeah, that was like 4 or 5 years ago where I'm just like, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this. The only way I can get out of this is if I just end it. And I was having thoughts like that, which is crazy. It was I've never thought I would be that type of person, but I realize how people get to that point because you're just so disappointed in yourself, where you just like, man, like I think this is rock bottom. Like,
Mhm.
I think I just hit rock bottom,
Yeah.
where it just gets so bad where it's just like your marriage ain't going right, your finances ain't right, you ain't right, nothing's right in your life. And I mean, I think really what it was, man, I got in a car accident. And
Mm.
I think that was my wake up call. I think God speaks to you in different ways. And I think that's one of the times in my life where God was speaking to me, like, you need to wake up. Or, the next time I put you in a car accident, you ain't getting up out of it. And my car was totaled and everything else. My truck was totaled. And I think that was just God speaking to me. I'm being honest with you, because I was in a bad spot, a real bad spot. Just everything going on in my life. I just had my son, uh, wasn't doing good, gambling like crazy, getting into it with my wife because I'm trying to defend my actions, knowing that I'm making things worse on her because I'm being selfish in how I'm doing things. And I got in that accident, and I think that really woke me up, and I've been better ever since. And yeah, you always gonna have times where you kind of go back and slip up, where you doing things, but it ain't as bad as what it used to be. It's nowhere near it. Now I just gamble for leisure, and I want to be completely delivered from it. I really do, because I know where it can take you, because I've been there before. But I am happy that God has put me in a better place now, where I'm not dealing with those things that I was dealing with 3, 4, 5 years ago, where I was ready to just be like, I'm done, bro. I told my mama that, I had to go talk to my mama and be like, hey mama, I need help. Like, this is bad. It's never been this bad for me. But yeah, I'm saying that because you never know what somebody's going through, bro. I really am. You never really know who you can bless with your trials and tribulations, and like you said, your pain. And hopefully somebody hears it out there, man, that's going through those things right now, to let you know you can make it out of it, man. Life is, hey, life is precious, man. Don't ruin something that God has blessed you with, thinking that He can't bring you out. What you got into, He can bring you out of, bro. He can bring you out of anything. You know, he
Come
he's
on,
bigger
man.
than any situation, any problem, any stress, trial, tribulation you going through. I'm telling you now, he can bring you out of it. You just got to trust in him, trust in God. So yeah, man, that's just my little speech, my sermon for you guys today. So yeah.
Man, on all my episodes, the last thing I usually ask people is, I usually kind of get them out of here on this question. And the question I ask is, if you were talking to your 20-year-old self, um, let's say you're sitting across the table from 20-year-old Mike, and he's coming to you, same situation, same issues he has going on. What's one piece of advice that you would give him? But I think you just really just answered that question, you
Mhm.
know, and I love it, man. It's like, do not think that this is the end of the line, because the enemy wants you to think that. The enemy wants you to think that because you're doing these things, you're a horrible person. You might as well just go ahead and slit your wrists, hang
You're a failure.
yourself.
A
Yeah.
failure.
Yeah. The enemy is gonna make you think that you're a failure. Everything that you discussed and talked about, it has the enemy's name written all over it, bro.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
the enemy is so powerful that if you're not careful, he will get you to a point where now you are depressed and now you're thinking about suicide and thinking about ending it all. And it's like, that's you got so much life to live. You got so many things that God wants you to become and God wants you to do. You got so many people that God wants you to impact and inspire, and go out and make an imprint on the world. It's not your time, man.
Yes.
You
Yes.
cannot you cannot speed up God's timing on your life
You
by trying
can't.
to take your life, bro.
You can't. And that's why I'm grateful for where I am now.
Yeah.
Being honest, just being able to talk to you on this podcast and have the family that I have, and have the support system that I have, and have the people that got my back. A
Yeah.
lot of times you have friends and you like, do they really got my back? Do they really genuinely love me for who I am? Do they love me for what I have on? Or do they love me for what I can provide for them? And now I finally have that group of people, that tribe that I know they love me for me. They love Mike for who Mike is. You know what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful thing to have, that support system that just loves you for who you are. You know, and
Wow.
it's a great thing, Brandon, man. It really is a great thing. And when you truly become who you are, you never know what blossoms out of it. You never know what doors you'll open up for somebody else. You never know how you inspire somebody else to do what they wanted to do. I get that a lot, where I've inspired other people to do things because they see me doing it. And that's one of the greatest joys is seeing somebody walk in their purpose because you walked in your purpose and you did what God told you to do. So
Man.
I mean, it's an amazing thing. And even watching you inspire me. You know, you and your wife Destiny, y'all inspire me. We inspire to do that. You know, do those things and get to the point where we are. And I truly appreciate it. You know, just watching you guys and you guys walking in your destiny. No pun intended. But yeah, so
Nah, man, I
yeah,
I
man.
appreciate it, bro. I'm thankful that even with me being having this platform and I talk to other people, it's times where I'm just so thankful that I get fed too, man, because this is for both of us. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? This is for you, this is for me. And it just further confirms what my thinking is that, we just got to keep going, bro. We just
Yeah.
got to keep going, and we just can't let the enemy come in on our territory just because things get a little bit in the trenches or whatever the case. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be all right.
Yes.
We gonna get through it.
It's
And
going to be all right. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. It really is. You know,
wow,
yeah. I mean, I do want to say one more thing before we get off of here.
yeah,
I know we on a time limit because I know how time limits work, but I'm a podcaster, so I like to talk just like you do.
right.
But I just want to tell people, never, never. I don't know how to word this, but never shut your ears off to what God is saying to you. And everybody thinks God speaks to people like, Mike, this is God. He don't speak to you like that. I know a lot of people that aren't Christians think that like God spoke to you. No, God uses miracle signs and wonders to speak to you. But I say this all the time, and I love telling this story because you never know what God is doing in God's timing. It's so
Mhm,
important to not look at your watch and use your timing, but use God's timing. God's timing is the best timing you can ever have. And I
mhm,
tell people this all the time because it was a point in my life where I was running away from God. I've been in church my whole life. I was tired of being the good kid, the preacher's kid, this and that. And I wanted to do things my way. I didn't care about church. I didn't care about none of that. I didn't care about going to church, listening to no preachers, singing, none of that. And I was working at Radio Shack. And this guy came in, older white guy. And he's like, hey, man, it's three of us in there. He's like, I want you to help me. I'm like, you want me to help you? Like, why you want me to help me? He said, man, I'm buying a karaoke machine. I want you to help me. I said, okay, sir, I'll help you. So he picked out the karaoke machine, and I rung him out for it, everything like that. I rung him out. Sorry, my son's coming in here. Go back out there. Sorry, I got kids, y'all. I rung him out for it and everything like that. And he said, can you walk it out to my car? I said, yeah, I'll walk it out to your car. No problem, sir. I'll do that. He said, I really didn't want you to bring the karaoke machine out here. I brought you out here for a different reason. He said, I don't know why, but God is talking to me right now. He said, he told me to tell you one day, I know you going through what you're going through, but you're a praise and worship leader and you will be on that stage. And I
mhm,
told him this. I said, sir, I'm thinking in my head at the 21-year-old me, that will never happen, sir. I'm not doing that. And I'm not one of them dudes that's trying to be something that I'm not doing that. Like that's just not me. I'm like, this dude is crazy. I'm really telling him that. And now at me at 34 years old, that is what I'm doing. It's what I live to do besides podcasting is what I want to do. I have a true urge for worship and I have a true urge for podcasting. But I'm telling you now, you never despise or never try to turn your ears off for what God has in store for you. All right.
Come on.
I just want everybody to know that, man. You never know where your life is going to take you. You know, I've never thought in a million years, and people tell me that to this day. You always used to sit back there and not say nothing. Now you up there doing that. I said, it's God. It's not me, it's God, man. I don't want to make this no churchy segment or nothing like that. But that's just who I am. You asking me who I am, that is who I am. So I mean, I love my sports, but hey, I love my God too. And I'm going to give that testimony. I'm gonna give that to anybody out there is whenever God gives you, whenever God speaks to you, you listen. And it might not happen 2 months from now. It might not happen 2 years from now. It might happen 10 years like it happened to me. But whatever God says is going to come to pass regardless. Yeah, it might not be on your timing, but it's going to come to pass. And I need to let somebody know that. So, yeah, that's what
Wow.
I tell somebody.
Wow, 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 man.
Yeah.
Woo. That was a moment, bro.
Yeah.
Wow. That was for me too, bro. That was for
Yeah.
me too, dog. Ooh,
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. No
That wasn't
problem.
even that wasn't even part of that wasn't even part of the convo, but it just had to happen.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
had to happen, bro.
Yeah.
I
It had
I
to happen,
truly
man.
nah, man. I appreciate that, man. Woo, man. Mm-mm-mm.
Mm.
Man, this was good, bro. This was good, man. I definitely appreciate you coming on and giving your perspective and your journey, man. And like, I just really hope that this helps someone, you
Yeah.
know. And that's if it helps one person, two people, hundreds of people, whatever the case may be, as long as we've helped someone, I'm fulfilled, bro.
Yes.
And you've come on and this was just a good episode, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Man, I appreciate you for having me, man. This can't be the last time.
Oh,
I'm gonna bring you back on that Mike to Mike podcast for sure.
let's
Us
go.
talking sports, man. But like I said, I just want to talk about everything. Sports is just a small part of me. It's something that I'm very passionate about. But I like talking about everything, man. I like talking about marriage. I like talking about life. I like talking about what God has in store and talking about that word. I like talking about all those things, man. So I mean, we got to do it again, man. I had
Oh
a
yeah.
good time being on the other side. Somebody
Oh
asked
yeah.
me questions, so I'm glad you brought me on the show. This is something that I'm not used to, but I'm glad you did it because I'm able to just talk, and I'm not able to do that on my show. So I'm glad you asked me to come on here, Brandon, for real.
No, for sure. And we'll definitely do it again, man.
Yeah,
But make sure you're following us on IG where we post reels from the episodes. And if you can't watch us, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts at Flip That Switch. So whether you're watching us or listening to us, make sure you tapping in. And if you got a story that you want to get out there that you think could resonate with people, you want to be a guest on the show, please hit me in the comments. I love to just get you on the show. So if that's you, please make sure you hit me in the comments. But Mike, my boy, appreciate you again. Thank you so much. And we're going to see y'all for the next episode. And we out. Peace.
peace. Thank y'all.